I've decided tonight that I'm going to stealth camp. I'm going to do it in kind of a cowardly way. I'm going to spend my first night sleeping in the truck. I don't have my full bed yet, but yeah, let's see what happens. It's been 3 days that I've been trying to get as much done as possible whilst also doing my job to, you know, earn money. So it's been tough. What I've done since I've had the camera off is, let me take you on a little tiny tour. It doesn't look like much, but it's taken a decent chunk of work. So the upper cabinets above the kitchen, this is temporary above the shower, but I've cut all of the upper cabinet doors and I bought the fittings for them ready to go in. These are the cabinet doors we're going to be putting on. So I've also got a shelf here. There's going to be a little lip here. I mean, they look like absolute trash at the moment, but we can figure that out later on. But I've cut all of the doors, and same above the, sorry about the light, above the office there as well. I've cut all the doors there. This has a temporary bottom at the moment. I've got a side on which needs trimming. Everything is like, this is good enough for now. We're going to finish it and neaten it up later on. Everything can be sanded down. I've also got these panels on. Again, not quite there, but good enough for now, just to sort of encapsulate things a little bit. So that's what I've been doing. I've got finally got a working fridge. It was not, the old one was not working. I put in this back wall panel for the kitchen. Then what I've just done is I bought more wall coverings. And I've also bought a countertop that I'm going to cut now and install. So the countertop is going to go across here for the kitchen. Then there's going to be a hole cut out where the sink is going to go underneath there. So today I'm going to do the countertop right now, get that over and done with. Then next I will be doing the upper cabinet doors so that they can start holding some stuff, even though there's a big gaping hole here. Then I will make the office back wall so that that will look a bit more like this over here, so I don't have to look at insulation, and I have this covered up as well. So that is my plan. Let's see how far I get, but it has been very stressful few days. I have had to totally dismantle my power system, rebuild it, change the setting on it. The one setting that made it not work was that the battery setting was set to not lithium, but AGM battery, and it was causing overcharge. It was blowing up, there were sparks flying. It was so stressful. Like, it was so stressful to you know, have move-in day happen and spend, I don't know, maybe 20 hours trying to figure out the power situation, despite the fact that I'd already done it. It was tough. But I've had a lot of loved ones be very helpful and supportive and help me through it. So I'm very grateful for that. And yeah, time to soldier on and move forward. So that is today's job. is the countertop. I need to put the, you get like a banding that goes on the side, so I need to put that on still. What is going to happen here is this is going to be a flip up or flip that way side for the shower unit. So for now, I don't want to do it all the way across because it doesn't fit all the way across anyway. So there will be a separate section here that will flip up, and this will flip out. That is a problem for tomorrow, Chris, future Chris. And then obviously the sink will be going here with the faucet, and this space will just be prep space. Fridge underneath here. There'll be a pull-out drawer for silverware and stuff. I've done it slightly higher. I did it for a couple of reasons. One reason was I was going to attach the cabinets to this, but I still didn't do it high enough. I miscalculated. So at the moment the kitchen unit is a little higher than average, but I'm fairly tall anyway, so I think it actually works for me, and it becomes a lot more deliberate compared to the desk height. In terms of color and stuff, this now makes me want to change the desk and get that to match, but we'll see how it goes. We will see how it goes. I don't know how two different color countertops are gonna feel. So yeah, job done. Let's see what happens with the next jobs. So when it comes to where the truck was going to park, my original and still maybe plan was that there are some places around, some RV parks, etc., basically dedicated parking to be able to stay. But the way that the build went, I was just so far off what I wanted to do and how I wanted to do it. And as I was building it out, I realized that there is not one place that would allow me in with something that's just unfinished as of right now. You know, it didn't have water, didn't have any of the stuff that you would have in an RV at the very least. So today was the day that I decided that I'm just going to suck it up and I'm going to stealth camp and just see what it was like. It was a perfect opportunity to do it. So I just decided to seize the opportunity and say, I am going to stay here in this unfinished truck and see what it is like. Because up to this point, I'd spent a couple of weeks converting it and I had never stayed in it. So tonight was the first night that I decided to do that. So I have just come from the gym and had a shower, and I'm going to cook some food, I think. It's a bit late now, so maybe not. But I've decided tonight that I'm going to stealth camp. I'm going to do it in kind of a cowardly way. I'm going to sit in the front. I'm going to check out the surrounding area. There's one other car in the parking lot with their lights on, so that's a bit weird. But other than that, it's pretty quiet, even though it's a Friday. So I'm going to sit and chill out for a bit, look at my surroundings, start to relax. And then, yeah, and then I'm going to spend my first night sleeping in the truck. But I actually have my mattress and covers set up. I don't have my full bed yet, but yeah, let's see what happens. Let's go to the front and see what's going on. Okay, so we're currently sat in the car. There is one car over there with the lights on. Still don't know what they're doing. I don't think it's a security guard, but they're just chilling out there. It's a fairly nice car. And there is no one else around, to be honest. You look around, just quiet. It's a fairly chill little place. So I don't know how much I'm going to be able to sleep tonight. It's kind of a weird feeling, even though like there's really not that much going on. I think I'm just talking to avoid going into the back. It's just that one car over there. Okay, I'm probably just going to go into the back. And not sleep. Let's see what happens. Okay, so much for stealth camping. On these trucks, these U-Haul trucks, there's a switch that you pull out to put on your amber lights on the top of the cab. And it also lights up your dial, your speedometer and stuff, so you can see it better, because it's basically there for night driving to warn people that you're on the road, and for you to sort of see your instruments better. I just got into the back and I was looking through at where I've got my scuff and my top amber light is, and I could see it shining through, and I was like, why is my amber light on? That doesn't make sense. Maybe it's just the light shining through. Anyway, it turns out that I left the thing on, so my lights have been on for the past 10 minutes. So probably haven't been very inconspicuous, but what I'm going to do is, despite the fire trucks, I'm actually going to do some work. I've got a video to edit, so I'm going to do some work while I settle, and then if the coast is clear, then I'll probably just go straight to bed. So that's my plan now. Okay, so been here for maybe 30 minutes, been watching TV show, and the other car's gone. My plan is that if I just watch this quietly for the next hour or so, it means that if anyone's bothered, if this is like security or whatever, then they can quite easily, knock, and then I can, I'll be awake and can be like, well, I'm working, and I'll move on if they want me to. Whereas if I'm in like scuffling around, half asleep and stuff, it's going to be a bit more difficult to make it seem like I'm working. Anyway, I think I'm just overthinking it. I can't do this every single night in my life, so yeah. So far so good. So I did it. I survived. It was quite cold last night, which I was not expecting. Yeah, it was quite cold. I mean, it's Houston, so it's warming up, but this winter has lasted a little bit longer, and yeah, it was quite cold. However, during the night, when I first got to sleep, there was a little more noise around than I think there was later on in the night. So I was hyper sort of vigilant, and I kept getting up and looking through the curtains, and at one point there was a car that had parked in front of me, and then like maybe 2 rows over, and then 10 minutes later it had moved 10 feet backwards, so that made me really suspicious. And then throughout the night there was like some people like cheering, and because there's apartments close by, so there were some people moving around and stuff, but overall it was fine. The thing that woke me up the most was actually my fridge. My fridge was on max mode, and kept dialing itself up to quite a high level, so I had to turn it down onto eco mode, which I think it should be anyway. It's only max mode is only to get it to like stuff frozen quickly. My inverter occasionally goes into quite a high fan mode in order to like cool itself down, and I think because the fridge was in max mode, it was pumping out a lot and was going up to a high fan speed as well. So those two things were waking me up, and because I still don't have doors on my cabinets, it was like right next to me. So that's something to figure out as well. But other than that, I actually slept. The mattress is just my mattress cut down, so that was good. I'm really happy that I did that I kept my mattress and just chopped it up, because it's, I mean, it's a bed, it's a proper bed. As of right now, it's mainly the temperature and putting the proper weather seal on the door to make sure that I'm actually warm, really. So as of right now, I am going to the best grocery store in the world. No, not Trader Joe's, like every single van lifer has to shop at. I'm going to HEB and I'm going to get groceries to put in my fridge, finally, because I can. So it is 6:08 a.m. I'm usually an early riser anyway, which is good. So that means I can get out of places before anyone sort of shows up for a shift or anything. First groceries, then let's start the day. So right now I am cutting some very temporary dividers for the upper cabinets in the kitchen, just because I want to start putting stuff in now. It's going to look quite messy because it's literally like exterior plywood, but I just want it so that I can divide it up and stop things from like sliding all the way up and down. So it just needs to be secure for now. It's not even full height because I don't even have shelves within there yet. So so yeah, just going to cut 4 tiny bits of ply, put them in so that I can then put the faces on and have some of my kitchen stuff out of the way. So that's what I'm doing now. It is warm in here. Wow, it's warm. So I now have some fairly sturdy dividers. As long as they stop things from sliding all the way down to this empty hole here, they've done their job. And it's only food that's going to be here for the moment, and even this, if you pull it stops there. So the doors as well are going to have these very strong pull close hinges on them that take a lot of strength to actually open them up, so that should add another layer of strength. So like I said, this is only temporary for now, until I get a more permanent solution in later on. So this'll do. That's the attitude we're having for the next couple of weeks until we get to a place of let's make this good. So yeah, this'll do. Time for the doors. So this is the semi-finished product. The screws that came with it are for 3/4 inch ply. I was using half, so that's why the screw's going out. So I need to sort that out. Obviously the finish on the side is not completed yet. All of these need to be neatened up, but in the meantime they lift open and have a soft close. But yeah, I have functioning upper cabinets in the kitchen. Above the office is a very different matter. So mission, I won't have time to do my AC today. It's coming up to 3 o'clock. Tomorrow, maybe tonight, I can buy the materials for the shelf. and the dividers. Yeah, that's what I'll do. In fact, yeah, shelf and dividers material, and more of these things. Let's see what I can do. So it was not in the original plans today to do some work, but it's happening. So I've decided today I'm going to install this sink, which I've already realized is a little bit too small for the actual for the depth of the surface, but it is what it is. This is the sink that I have. This is the sink that I'm going to install. It's going to be installed. So yeah, I definitely thought it was bigger, so it may look a little bit lost, especially when you see the size of the faucet that I have. Stay tuned for that, because that's nuts. Yeah, so I'm going to install this sink today. I also don't have a jigsaw. I have a sawzall, which is probably what I'll end up using. You got to make do with what you have, right? So that's what we're going to do. Let's see how it turns out. So what I just found out is this countertop is 25.5. I thought it was 24. I did realize that this felt just a little too far forward. It felt like a real kitchen, but this is a van, so everything needs to be just like a hair smaller for it to be big enough to give you space. So this is what has been going on with this. This is an inch too big. Do I take an inch off or an inch and a half? I'm gonna cut this to 24.5. Okay. Wow. That was not what I was expecting to find out today, but it makes a lot of sense. 24.5. This, I know that it's only been like just over an inch taken off. I can't even begin to tell you the difference in feeling. I don't know what it is, because maybe the shadow of like the overhang just felt a lot more, but as of right now, it feels like 6 inches is being taken off. I don't know how it's going to feel with like the sink now. Yeah, okay. It's kind of mind-blowing it was only an inch or so, but I guess an inch is all it takes to make a big difference. So take that one to the bank. Okay, the big test is, does it fit in a reasonable way? The answer, it seems, is yes. We actually have a sink. I guess I've just got to glue it down Okay, that's good. It feels reasonable. Weird. Okay. Cool. Let's move on. Okay, so I was super intimidated by this, but bear in mind I have no experience with any of this. And for anyone who's watching who also doesn't have any experience with any of this, installing a faucet is actually pretty simple. Basically, ignore the fact that mine is way too big for what it is. But essentially all you're doing, you're installing it as you install your sink. So you don't install the sink, seal it all up, and then put the faucet in. You do it at the same time, which is what I just found out. So basically my faucet goes through here, all of the tubes and stuff that you get. This one has like a little weight thing to pull the whatever this bit's called up. You put all of the tubes through, and then you take this little circle-y tubey thing with a rubber circle-y tubey thing, washer, I guess. Feed them all through that, and then just basically tighten it. So all you can, let me see. As you can see, this basically just attaches this and seals it shut, essentially. So you don't, it's not like with the sink where you seal it, I guess. You just tighten this until it is tight, tight, tight. And then that is it in. And then if you have one of these pull-up hoses, I guess that's called a hose, you get this little weight, which is the counterweight to make it retract. And what I'm going to do is, according to the instructions, which I would assume is correct, is you open this up, this little barrel looking weight, right? So you unscrew it, and then you feed the tube through it. So essentially, I take the whole thing off then. I think I take the whole thing off, both screws. If I never see a screw again after this for a good 2 years, I'll be pretty happy. There are so many different types of screws and fixings, things that you can lose easily. Screw lengths, which is apparently a big deal. Okay, so comes apart like this. And then what I do is first separate. Then install the gravity ball on the pull-out hose and fix it with screws. Insert the pull hose into the connector. Oh, okay. So yeah, so you're basically essentially just fixing this to this. Once that's done, you attach this end to this end by, whether you can see that, I feel like I need to wrench. Insert the pull hose until you, at this moment in time, the weight is on this side, the way it hangs. So I think what I need to do is have it more on that side so that it actually pulls down. So it is a little too far along that hose. So I'm going to remove it, put it over on this side, and hopefully that will work better. Okay, so that now clicks in there, which means that I can pull it this far. But if I can move this down a little bit, so it's still, there's a weight down there, but I can still get a good length out of it. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's probably its best place there. Okay. So for now, we're going to move this out of the way. And then this overkill faucet, which barely squeezes in. is now in. Okay, so it does work. Is this tap? No, okay. So there we have it. We have a massively overkill faucet. That is insane for the size of the sink. But at least I can upgrade the sink to match it. But there you go. We have a little extracting faucet. This that feels solid even when things are bumping around. I think it's going to be fairly in place, and hot and cold when it will eventually be hot and cold. There we go. Time to connect it up to water.